Greetings, my dear friends. And a crazy day, but I'm happy to answer any questions. That's what I'm here for. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's get a giveaway going. All right. All right. Sorry, I'm setting everything up. Going through a lot of DMs. Looks sad. It's been a big day. Did I start the giveaway? Oh, all right, guys, welcome to the stream. Today we are going to be talking about the Alliance server stuff. Just answering any questions you guys have about that. All right. Give the first question. How long will the game be down when combat tree is pushed? Probably not that long, honestly. When Cyprus? Cyprus should be done. What the? Yeah, Cyprus should be done. At some point. I could add windows everywhere. Did I make the stairs? Yeah, stairs. Add windows and fucking stairs in this. Ranger, my buddy. It has been a while. I've missed you for sure. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. What faction will be in Cyprus? Uh, that's a wide ass staircase. Myth, when are skill trees being released? I actually don't know. I think we're planning on doing it before Cyprus releases, but I think they're waiting on a few final testing things. This is way too fucking wide. You know, I don't know. That's a lot better. That looks like shit. How did I do this back in the day? Back in the day. Oh, here we go. Now that's what I like to see. Wonderful. Myth, why are you entering our alliance servers? Never told me. Well, some SCA coalitions were harboring banned members in their servers, and so unfortunately what that means for everybody else is we now have to own the server so that Deadline and I, which we're not really, I mean, I'm in Seljix, like, ceremonially, obviously, like, Deadline and I can moderate. It is crazy. Who could have guessed? I couldn't have guessed. Anyway, SCA was being naughty. And that's not good. You shouldn't be naughty. But yeah, this basically ensures that, you know, pedophiles don't get to continue existing in the community just because some people like them, like a faction leader. So, yeah, that's the harsh truth. Or just, you know, people that are just, they have bad intentions for the community. How will Deadline have time to moderate while coding in the Credenzio basement? So true. He's not going to be... like, this is basically enforcement. Faction leaders are still expected to moderate to some point their own discords. But this would basically be to enforce when leaders aren't doing that. So. What's the block glitch? You tell me, maybe I can assist. It's when your block defense is below max and you can't charge attack. It just does 1 damage. Interesting. Oh, fuck. I did the stairway backwards. No. No. So medieval staircases have to go up so they favor the right hand on the high ground. So right here, if you're right-handed, the high ground doesn't really help you because you're obstructed. So, yeah. This is the new Teutonic castle that they won in the faction competition. Yeah, actually flipping it doesn't fix it, so unfortunately. I think the only thing that'll fix it is if I redo it. Chopper, just so you know, I'm redoing this out of love for you and for no other reason, because I really don't want to. It's extremely annoying to fix this, but I'm not going to complain about it. Just kidding, I will complain about it. I'm fixing this so the Teutonics can defend easier, because I am biased towards the Teutonics, obviously. So now your right hand will be blocked when you're going up, but not when you're going down. So basically, if you're at the top of the ladder and you're trying to defend people from coming up, it's better. Now that's some color right there. Thanks for coming, Hadron. Appreciate it. Always good to hear from you, buddy. Thank you for stopping in. So Chopper, I have to wake up at butt crack of dawn on Saturday to watch the Broncos. Whoa. Oh no. Oh no. I screwed up. Guess I'll just fix it manually, even though it's going to be annoying. Fuck. This base is called Belvoir Castle. It already exists in the game, previously known as Malbork. So Malbork's going to be moved up north to Sidon, and either be renamed Sidon or be named like to Malbork, like as if it's like a ship to Malbork, or some other German castle that actually existed at the time. And then this will be in Belvoir. So Central Levant will have an extra base to capture, basically, making Central Levant more compelling. Also considering Nicosia is being moved out, I think it's nice. It'll fill that spot. So obviously Nicosia is going to be in Cyprus. So now the entrance to this. Okay. I'm gonna hop in VC, see if anybody wants to join. All right, for any volunteers or development members, I am now in the VC. If you want to join and talk on stream. Thank you. See this like little stuff, just like moving bricks back, it takes up so much time.
It's always nearby because we...
So another thing which I think Chopper would probably prefer if there's only one stairway up to the top of the keep. To the top level, because that'd be more defensible, I assume. A good guy. But I can put it in everything should you choose. Single staircase, okay. And then they're all going to need staircases up to the second level. I mean, up to the top of the tower, else the towers will be completely inaccessible. I mean, to the third level, yeah. I think this... I can't figure out a way to make this third level accessible because this is supposed to be a chapel. Tally, if you have any ideas for the chapel design here, please send them to me. Since I'm going to be starting the chapel soon. This is the chapel here. Size relative to a character. Let's give you a little reference. You guys can see how massive this castle is. Like fucking massive. You see how small this dude is. So this is just like a very small chapel. Held like 10 or 15 people max. And the reason it's that small is because that's what it was in real life. This is a base that's strictly modeled after the... I could make it even more epileptic if you want. If I divided this thing up into a bunch of different parts and like color coded it. Like this. Just fully embrace the epilepsy. I mean, why not? Thanks for the suggestion. I am building a castle on Roblox. Here's a preview. Been working on it for a few weeks. And we're building it as a winner of a competition. Has won it. For the Kickstarter competition. Have a good lift, man. Keep going. Keep hustling. May Dr. Mike guide you. Ryan, have you ever seen the clip of Dr. Mike talking about steroids and how it like he takes so much of them and it like makes him angry all the time? It's kind of funny. Oh, dude, full ep. We're going full epilepsy here. See, man. Greetings. I'm talking to somebody in the chat. Somebody did just join. Godson and Lettuce. Ooh, Lettuce.
Hello.
Lettuce, my beloved.
Mithandir, the one and all.
It's true. There really is only one of me. I am one of one. Just like there's only one of you. What do you think of the new castle here, Lettuce?
Take a peek. I saw the stream. Where'd it go? Alright. There. Yeah, I see you're building a staircase.
Have you seen what it looks like on the outside yet?
Is this going off the material? Is this the rework on tire?
No, this is entirely new base, Belvoir.
Oh, Belvoir, yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen this outer shot, yeah.
Nice. I know you're probably angry about all the Cypress teasers that go nowhere, but they are working on a new... The delay right now on Cypress is because they're working on a new base, so that Cypress releases with at least one new side base instead of it just being... Instead of it just being, like, just Nicosia.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that'd be kind of weak as a intro. So,
I mean, if Teutons didn't snipe the side base reward, Cyprus would be so overpowered. We'd have that island with 3 bases, unstoppable.
yeah. No, totally. Can you guys hear Lettuce? Yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah, you pretty much nailed it. There's a lot of good I mean, Cyprus is going to be just competing with England, basically, for that island, and...
I think you mean stomping England.
Right. Well, what's your guys' relationship with England right now?
I mean, we're chill with them. We've talked to them about, like, hey, man, we're probably going to end up fighting when the region comes out. And I think it'll just kind of be like a chill fight. It's not going to be like a, I hate everything you stand for fight. It's just like, well, I guess we got to do it.
Might turn into that, though.
Eventually. I mean, I don't have any bad blood with England. I mean, we talked to them, and they said that if there was some way... The problem is, they don't have an issue of leaving the island. Funny thing. We talked to Super. He said, we would happily let you guys have the island, like, probably for money or, you know, if we help them secure other lands, if the core ownership system was different. But
Yeah.
because you can never, you can't transfer cores.
Yeah.
Like, you always will be not having those as cores.
Right.
They don't want that stability. Yeah, the stability
makes sense.
negative effect.
Yeah, I mean, why would they, right?
Yeah, I mean,
at the same time, like, probably good that we designed it that way. It encourages conflict, which is more active. Sucks that, like, it sucks for you guys. But
Oh, I'd sadly say the opposite. Like, what Led is talking here isn't the garrison ownership impacting stability. It's the core system specifically.
yeah, Chronicle.
Yeah. The Chronicle, especially after it released, caused a lot of factions to just start death warring each other over what they perceive to be rightfully theirs when garrisons haven't been there since 2022.
Yeah.
Sounds like
I mean,
realistic gameplay.
well, what do you think about this myth? What if there was a system where, depending on obviously more important garrisons,
Yeah.
strongholds more important, if you occupy a garrison for long enough, it should just become your core part of your chronicle ownership.
Yeah.
Because think of it like when the Christians took Jerusalem, they took down all the iconography from the Muslims, they Christianized the city, and it was theirs.
But wouldn't that
That's
be a
just what
negative
happened.
incentive, though? Because
It
Here-
would kind of be a positive, because right now factions view giving a garrison as like killing yourself. Like it's the worst thing you could ever do. Never give land, never at all. And it
Yeah.
prolongs, it just makes conflict such a pain, and never wanting to like reach a resolution.
Right.
No one's ever willing to give up the garrisons. But if you have a system where it's like it's not as big of a blow, like you won't get that debuff from not having all your chronicle territory,
Right.
and it lets factions expand their empires if they actually want to. Like let's say for some reason Byzantium wanted to say, you know what, we own northern Levant, and they got strong enough, and they kicked out assassins, they kicked out Antioch, they
Yeah.
get their land, they hold it long enough, they make it their chronicle ownership, that it's theirs.
So the other side of that, my question would be, I feel like that would almost encourage weaker factions to just not care about losing territory as much, because they know they can just, their stability will actually be more stable if they own less territory, which would
Well,
be
I
my
mean,
concern.
Yes, but also think about, like, would you really want you to be? Imagine if you're the leader of Sicily and you're
Uh-huh.
like, you know what, guys? It's cool that we only own 2 garrisons. It's actually chill. You know that? People would be like, no, dude, we want land.
Yeah. I
So,
think
I
if there
mean-
were more, like, resource incentives to own garrisons.
Well, there kind of is, but it's kind of busted. You know about when
Yeah.
you, if you're in the conquest server and you mine ores or pick plants near your garrison, you get an additional one. Like you chop a sapling near your land, you get 2.
Yeah.
You know about that system?
Yeah.
It kind of works, but most of it doesn't work. So if that could be like rezoned and fixed, I don't know what's causing that problem. If it's just what is considered its territory and what's not.
So that doesn't work,
But-
is what you're saying. That system.
It works
It
very
doesn't work.
inconsistently.
Yeah, it doesn't work reliably.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think garrisons having more, like you said, more resource impact, because that would be very helpful. Because let's say you got to get jasmine flowers for health tonics. Well, those spawn mostly in the open regions. They don't spawn a lot in bases. So you wander around your garrisons, and you own more garrisons, so you get more double jasmine flowers. There you
Right.
go.
No, I think that's
Also,
I think
as
that's
a
smart.
hot take,
Ooh.
I do think we should make the Infernum zones be clearer into faction territories and all of them useful, so that people compete for garrisons just for the buffs to Infernum zones.
If an Infernum zone, because I mean, that
Like,
would
it
really
already
spice
does
things
it
up.
right now, but it barely works.
Right.
Mhm.
No,
'Cause,
my
if your faction controls, like the Ayubids, they control Rocky Farm. They can, they have a lot of resources right there, and then the Teutons are right there. The Zenkids are
well,
right there.
people kind of rejected my Infernum idea, which
Which
was to make like 1 day a week the regions become Infernum for a battle, which encourages everybody to just go there with like shittier weapons,
Mhm.
but also makes the battles just a lot more impactful and kind of exciting. But I think so many people are scared of Infernum that
Well, yeah, it's the way Lionhearts has been made is everyone has gear fear. No one wants to bring any, and people who lose, like, there's been a few people who have lost Cast Damascus and Infernum, and they never live it down. They get clowned on till the end of time. Like you brought Cass to an infernum and got hunted.
But that's also like
Or even worse,
it
when you
sucks.
don't even
It
bring
sucks
to an
for a
inferno.
player, but it's
Yeah.
also exciting. It causes drama.
Yeah, I do understand that need to have kind of some drama, and I feel like having a way to like circling back to the whole Chronicle ownership, that would definitely cause some drama, because you know you have the faction that say lost a garrison to core ownership that now says it belongs to somebody else. So then you get people motivated in that faction, like, oh man, we gotta reclaim our rightful land. We gotta take back that territory.
Yeah.
And put back our flag there, and maybe let's take one of theirs. You know.
No, I definitely
Instead of
see the
just-
logic. I wouldn't mind if the I'm not telling the way I do it. Like I'm basically overseeing things and I veto stuff if I think it's like a terrible idea. But I'm not telling the game designers not to do that. Like I wouldn't be against trying that stuff. I'm just explaining why I hesitated not to do that myself, because I think well, everything you do in game design has a cost and effect, right? So it has intended effects and unintended effects. And you kind of just have to make sure that the unintended effects aren't worse than the problem before. And like a lot of times, like let's say 24/7 road battles, like everybody thought we were really dumb for doing that. And, you know, maybe we were, and it obviously didn't work. But the reason that we tried it is because there's actually a massive issue with time gating the core gameplay loop. If you can only participate in the core loop at a certain time of day, and sometimes that's like 3 a.m., that's just not a very scalable system. So that was a proposed solution to try to fix that, but it didn't work and it made things worse. So obviously, you know, it's easy enough to say, hey, you shouldn't have done that. Like, yeah, but if it had worked, it would have been better. It would have fixed that.
It's hindsight, and I mean,
I
think
yeah,
about.
but at this, go ahead, let us.
Yeah. I think the way to kind of fix the problem you talked about with wanting the 24/7 RBs is you just have to make the wars not as like this is the end of everything. You take away some of the grandiosity of how everything's gonna go to hell if we lose this, and you make it more like, okay, well, we lose this for a little bit, okay, but you know you decrease the cost and the fear of losing to a level where people are able to casually play and just like, you know, show up to, because like I have a job now, so I'll just show up to every few RBs, and I'll fight, and then, you know, oh well. I mean,
well, I actually planned a solution in Reforged. If you want to hear about it,
I love hearing Mithandir. Yeah.
The solution in Reforged is actually to make it so there's a like attacking another base to conquest it, like even on the like a garrison. Like each garrison will basically be like a base in Reforged to some extent. And there'll be micro garrisons called lordships. So if you want to capture a garrison, essentially you have to there's a significant resource tax to do that. It's not just like free. You don't just get to attack bases willy-nilly. Like
it costs something.
Exactly. So if you waste your resources on an attack and it doesn't work, you're vulnerable for a counterattack because of resource scarcity. And the way we've done that is basically by making it so, or we're going to do it rather, because it's not done yet, obviously. The way we're going to do that is so lives cost food. So in order to, let's say, in order to attack an enemy, you have to ration food and bring it via a stock, like a caravan, and have battle supply lines to get to the opponent's base. And when you run out of food, you can't spawn anymore in that area. Basically, you'd have to walk like a crazy distance, and then the battle's basically over at that point.
Yeah, so like what you said about like if you don't prepare well, so let's say you attack, you have 100 food to start, and you attack, you're down to like 30 food, all
Yeah,
right? But then they come in, they have 100 food for a counter attack. Well, now you're screwed. You didn't bring enough
exactly.
because now you're gonna
Yeah.
get drained faster than you can drain their lives and their
As
food.
somebody said in the chat, it's going to require actual strategy, whereas the 24/7 road battle didn't work because there's no disincentive to just continuously attacking besides burnout. So we tried to like make the cooldown super long, right? So technically something could be happening on the map in one location but not another. But there's too much burnout. You think it's because of consequence, and that's true. But also, if you remove the consequence, it's also less engaging to defend. So it's a really tough balance. It's one of the hardest things to deal with making this
You
game.
have to find that sweet spot.
Exactly, because you don't actually care.
Terrified of war.
If you lose your capital and it just like reverts back to your ownership in like two minutes, like obviously you don't give a shit and you're not going to be able to actually rally your men to defend. And like, yeah, the fighting might be fun, like theoretically, but fighting's a lot less fun when it's not meaningful, right? That's why matchmaking's not as exciting as when you're in a call with the boys.
As a very high level, person, I do not always want to fight Cash Damascus annoying ass bots. Okay, that's why I don't play matchmaking, because I have to fight the hardest bots. When sometimes I just want to fight. If I could select, like if I could take a decreased amount of XP or rewards to fight easier bots, I'd love it. I'd play matchmaking because I like it. And I like getting a little bit of XP for, like, let's say shield.
But it's supposed to be casual, and so when it's not casual, it's like, well, this is even harder than a fucking road battle or whatever. So why would I?
Yeah, I'm fighting Cash Damascus.
Right? Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, if I had a difficulty option, that'd be pretty cool. I think that would have those higher level people play matchmaking a bit.
Well, there is a difficulty option. It's just automatic, so it determines what weapon and level you're using, and then it averages out your team. So if it's usually you're playing alone, right? Because there's not that many people in matchmaking, but the way the system works is that it averages out everybody's weapons and levels and then spawns the bots accordingly. So if you're level S combat, level S weapon, and you bring a Woot's weapon, you're going to get the hardest guards in the game because it's basically calculating that, that's the level of difficulty you need. If you join the game with 40 noobs, the bots would be super easy. So that's something where we designed it for a lot of players, but it doesn't work with few players. That's actually a lot of issues in our game. Are things that we designed to work with a lot of players that do not work with few players. And so when you're designing systems, they have to work at all levels. Yeah, go ahead.
It seems like you might have also unintentionally made the matchmaking harder by adding another tier of difficulty on top.
Really?
Yeah, Obsidian. Obsidian is considered by the game as above cast.
But I don't know if it's in the code.
Unless they lied to me, it's possible that guards might use Obsidian in matchmaking.
It shouldn't be. I'm not. I believe you, but that shouldn't be registered in the code.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what I was told. They might have been lying to me. Still not sure, but yeah.
So yeah, do you think that would be because I don't have a choice. I can't have. I no-lifed all of the weapons to S. I physically cannot have a weapon that they will not give me a Cast Damascus bot to fight against. Even if I bring a wooden short sword, they're gonna throw cast at me.
Matchmaking difficulty could be something that in-game design look into. We are already planning on eventually looking into messing with the matchmaking system as well to make it good again.
Well, the thing about Lionhearts is without the matchmaking system, there's really nothing to do outside of region battles. That goes back to my time gating issue.
Yeah, that's another thing I had with your time gating issue. It's actually something that I've been talking about from time to time for about the moment Dungeons got released, since it's one of the, as far as I see it, core components of MMORPGs is, apart from the PvP aspect, a solid both solo or small team PvP aspect,
Yeah.
PvE aspect.
The biggest issue with matchmaking from a game design standpoint, and the reason I don't think that it completely worked to the level that we wanted it to. Oh no, did I fuck this up? Sorry. Yeah, the reason I don't think it worked to the level we wanted it to is because Lionheart's Crusade, no one can tell you if it's a faction game or an MMO, and it can't really be both. The reason it can't be both is because MMORPGs are quest and personal progression favored. So there's MMOs by definition. So for example, Lionhearts is an MMO by definition because it's massively multiplayer online. But it shouldn't be by genre, because by genre, it should have quests, it should have all sorts of things that other MMOs have. And so we tried to add those things, but they took away from the faction element. So when you add a matchmaking system just because factions have matchmaking, or because MMOs have matchmaking system, but they don't actually benefit your faction, now you have competing progression systems. So what we're doing with Reforged is every single thing that you do actually helps your faction. And if it doesn't help your faction, you don't progress. So you can't just grind in an empty map fighting bots. If it doesn't actually help your faction in some way, you won't get favor, which is basically what experience is. So everything is based on helping your faction. What that does is it makes the incentive system right, so that you actually feel like you're contributing to your faction rather than having core competing progression loops. So in Lionheart's Crusade, we don't actually have a core gameplay loop. We have multiple, which is a big issue. Like, is the core gameplay loop territory conquest, progressing your weapon, matchmaking, or, resource collection, which I guess is progressing your weapon? Like, we have 3 competing core loops, which are all equally viable ways to play the game. Now, most people do it based on, the thing people care about most is territory conquest, but that's time gated. So that's never going to scale. And so essentially the reason I decided to do Reforged is because I knew that problem with the core loop was so major. You can't just slap fixes and features on top of it. It has to be totally reassessed from the ground up. And so what I did with Reforged is I essentially gathered all the systems in Lionhearts. I evaluated which ones work well, which ones don't, but I based them all around the core gameplay loop in Reforged, which is gain favor, ascend up the ranks in your kingdom, and earn rewards. It's gain favor, ascend, and acquire. So you gain favor by, like, I kill somebody at a region battle in Reforged, I get favor, that allows me to become a knight, and then as a knight, I get more titles, I get a better weapon, I get more opportunity. Rather than the faction hopping issue we have now, which is your faction rank actually doesn't mean shit except for the uniform you get and clout. So it's not actually a faction game. The faction element and progression system is just moot. It doesn't actually matter. Whereas back in the day, when we were playing in ACA, your faction rank was everything. And so the core loop of being in a group genre is, back in the day, was to rank up. But now it's not. It's like, oh, if I have a Woot's weapon and I faction hop, like, that's what I want to do, and that's my viable way of playing the game. It's just not, it's not actually healthy for the game. So that's why in Crusade I tried to add fixes like the contribution counter in the top bar. That was an effort for me to say, like, let's make this more center and focus. Pay based on your rank. That's something that I wanted to do so that people actually feel more incentivized to rank up, and so when they faction hop, they lose something. But ultimately, there were no easy solutions to be done that would fix the core issue, which is why I decided to just readdress them completely in Reforged. On top of that, as I finish my yap, the Roblox audience is so young that if I was going to redo Crusade from the ground up, it still wouldn't fix the issue that this game's never going to be popular enough on this platform because there's just too many fucking 10-year-olds on it. And 10-year-olds don't like medieval games. 17-year-olds do. So you got to go to where the actual medieval audience is. You can't just Like, I wanted this game to work on Roblox because I was a Roblox player, but, you know, it should have never been made on this platform. I don't regret making it. Just saying, and we learned a lot, and actually was the best thing to do to, like, learn how to make the best version of the game. But you should, like, when people are like, oh, should I make a medieval game on Roblox? It's like, well, unless it's literally like a zombie sim killing game like that, whatever the fuck that game is that came out that's got like 1,000 concurrents, don't expect to do much. Yeah, but even that game, if it was in a different genre, if it was anime, it would probably have 10 more times more players.
Yeah, Men at Arms.
Yeah, Men at Arms, exactly. So there's all these sort of issues and stuff with Crusade. Ultimately, it's, you know, the game design issues are so massive that we didn't feel like they could be easily fixed, and we had such massive performance issues. Like, a lot of you guys know this, but a lot of you don't, because if you have a decent PC and you don't lag that much, it's just not something you care about. But there's a lot of players that we just don't know about because of survivorship bias that quit the game far before they join a Discord or get involved because they're lagging too much to even play the game, because they're expecting a mobile-friendly Roblox game and they get this massive MMO that lags the shit out of their PCs. And they're like, fuck this, I can't even, like, load into this region, and then they quit. And then that hurts all the analytics. It hurts everything, and then the people who are still playing think, oh, you know, the problem is I need new faction the faction uniforms suck. That's what's wrong with this game. It's like, no, like, most players who quit don't even get to the point where they give a shit about the faction uniforms. So when you're, like, designing the game, you want to listen to the players and you want to add the things they like, but also sometimes, because of survivorship bias, the existing players don't always know what's really going on with new players, because new players don't, like, fill out a fucking survey before they leave the game telling you why they left. They just leave. You only get reports from people who have played the game extensively and then leave, and those are completely different audiences. Because, like, Lettuce, if you were just like, I'm fucking burned out, and tomorrow you're like, I'm quitting this game forever, well, you already spent like 1,000 hours in this game or whatever. You're not a typical new player. So although your concerns are valid for returning players, I guarantee almost none of them, well, I don't guarantee, but I suspect that almost none of them would actually be valid to a new player, if that makes sense. Because they're worried about the fucking multi-tutorial or whatever's going on over there.
Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with quite a few new players. I don't think I have, you know, down pat how they feel understood.
Yeah.
But I do know some of their concerns. Like, one, I've had this a lot with people I recruit, is having them discover land is agony. Just having them run from garrison to garrison to garrison to garrison to garrison to garrison, because they need to do that so they can attend battles and actually.
Right.
Yeah, that's the.
We're fixing that right now, by the way.
Okay,
that's being addressed.
That's been a problem with me in recruitment.
So the reason we did that, by the way, is because we wanted to make the game more like a typical MMO, which was a mistake, and we wanted to add content. And there's not enough content in this game for an MMO, so we wanted something for people to do when there wasn't a region battle. The problem is that system's just annoying, and it's not fun. It's just like a hindrance.
Myth, I think you guys just went about the wrong way of adding content to the game. So usually when people say about adding content to MMOs, it's not about changing previous systems in order to make them more forcefully player engaging, like you did with cartography quests. It's more of actually adding new options for players to do. For an example that I keep asking from time to time occasionally, and I do feel would help with the burnout and time gaining.
Yeah.
If the dungeon system was to be made into a more solid idea. And for example, I think this was one of your choices, but for example, something I noticed, the dungeons right now that we have feel a lot more like Roblox obbies with one or two moments of PvE sprinkled in.
Yes.
Than what people were expecting with dungeons, which is a bit of exploration and PvE with optional parkour.
Yes. No, you're totally right. And I actually had plans, and we almost did make a dungeon for every single we were going to make a dungeon for every single garrison. So next to every garrison was going to be a dungeon that was unique next to it that you would complete for rewards and stuff. Ultimately, we just like ran out of time. And like that's just like a huge ask. Like when you've already got a map, we made the map way too fucking big for an MMO with the team size we had. So essentially, the map's too small for territory conquest in some ways, but it's too fucking big for MMO stuff. So it was just like a competing interest. Like if you're trying to play an MMO and it's just this massive world, but there's not actually anything to explore or to do, well, it's not that compelling because you're going through a map that's, you know, meant to be, you know, full of content, but at the end of the day, it's not. And so although it's like it looks good, I mean, a lot of people think the game it looks nice, right? Like it's not, but it's not a fucking showcase. It's a game. Like no one cares if it looks good. They care like how does it function? Like can I actually do can I do what I want to do? Can I go and have an engaging time? Because unless you're an explorer player type, and a lot of people aren't, just like wandering around the map for hours with very limited PvE stuff is going to be compelling. And so these are all like really hard problems to fix. You know, they're not like, most of these are not like, hey, you know, we'll take an afternoon and patch this stuff up. They're like massive issues. And essentially the incentive to continue being on Roblox primarily and keep spending a ton of money and time and effort for a platform that just ultimately would never yield profits to the level that would require operating a large studio. It just wasn't, you know, it just wasn't viable. And so what we're trying to do is we'd like to, you know, honor our existing audience, so we're not abandoning the game, and allow the people who actually know the game best from the player side, which is actual player volunteers, to change things the best they can to make micro adjustments to make the game better. But at the end of the day, I'd be lying to you if I told you, like, yeah, I expect that's going to, like, fix the game, and, like, now all of a sudden Lionheart's Crusade is going to be, like, 1,000 concurrents. I mean, maybe if like really everything got fixed and totally optimized, but again, that's a massive, massive undertaking. And even with a full-time dev team, you're talking about, you know, months and years of work. With a volunteer team, it's just a lot slower, which I think is a lot of the current community frustration is like, hey, I've... you know, I want an update, like, where's Cyprus? And it's like, well, you know, the volunteers are doing the best they can. They, like, you know, we don't have 6 people working 40 hours a week constantly working on this. So things are going to be a little slower. And yeah, that's frustrating. But from our perspective, it's just like, you know, there's nothing really we can do about it. Like, we want to... honor the existing users, but you know, if there's not any money to invest in it because it's not making any, and you know, we've got mouths to feed, we have people to pay so that they can, you know, I've got to feed my family, and people have got to feed theirs, so it's not like you can just keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Like at some point, you have to have results, which is frustrating for players, and I don't think they completely understand. And that's okay. But from our perspective, like we basically did... I mean, I know I did everything I possibly could with the knowledge I had and the skill set I had and the resources I had to make Lionheart's Crusade work on Roblox and make it the best medieval experience possible. And that it definitely wasn't perfect and a lot of mistakes were made. But I know I busted my ass and that we all did at the studio. And at the end of the day... I mean, outside of the problems that the game had that could have been avoided, the platform was not accommodating for this type of experience. Roblox refused to fund us, to help us. They said they wanted to have experiences that, you know, push the boundaries of the platform, that were more unique and engaging, increased older audiences. But when it came to getting grants and funding from them, they basically said, well, you're not an anime game, so we can't give you funding. We love it. There's nothing you did wrong. It's the perfect game for this type of thing, but it's not an anime game, so we can't give you funding. And so then it's like, well, now the game needs to carry itself. Like, it can't just be propped up by Roblox. It has to carry itself with the audience. And guess what? Like, people, you know, you make the game paid access, and you've got a bunch of 10-year-olds on the group wall saying, why do I have to pay, you know, $1 for this game? It's like, well, I just fucking spent so much money and time and effort to make this game over the course of 10 years. And Roblox players are typically too cheap to even spend a fucking dollar on it. You know, like, it's, I mean, on Steam, you make 14.29 times more per player. So if we just brought the existing audience over, assuming that they spent at the same level that a typical Steam player does, so it's not like a perfect example, but just assuming that, we would have been making more than enough money to keep the studio running indefinitely and just work on this game. Not to mention if we had more players, which we will, because it's on a platform that actually has a medieval audience. You know, there's too many issues that this platform has. I love the platform for many reasons. Like, I don't think it's like the worst platform, but it's not a good platform for this genre. And that's why we tried to make an anime game. We literally made an anime game so we could try to fund Lionhearts. We're like, let's take our Roblox expertise, make an anime game, so that we can continue to fund Lionhearts. Because, like, none of us really care about anime that much. I'm proud of the game we made. It's a quality game. But at the end of the day, people kept on telling us, oh, you should add spins to this game, gambling mechanics, because that's how all those anime games make their millions of dollars. They have exploitative spin mechanics. And I was like, I don't want to fucking do that. And those addictive mechanics are the biggest reason those games succeed. And although it's not the reason that anime game hasn't worked yet, I suspect we could have made a lot of money with that game if we had simply done that. But we didn't want to do that. So we ended up with a game that doesn't have the mechanic that anime players are expecting, and so it didn't perform to the level that we wanted it to initially. And then we just spent a bunch of time on that game that didn't even work, and at that point I was like, fuck it, I'm done with this platform. I mean, we need to go to a platform that actually allows you to make money ethically, that doesn't take 81% of what you make, and that...
Yeah, Roblox with that.
What?
I said, yeah, Roblox is awful with that.
Yeah, so it's...
'Cause, I mean, like, I'm curious, because I just bought a family in-game, so that's 2,500 Robux. How much of that you get?
So 2,500 Robux. So if they didn't tax the shit out of that, that would basically be like $25. But by the time it comes to me, I get $8. Now that's after the cut they already take from the time you purchase the Robux. So, yeah. So you spent 25. Oh wait. I don't actually get. Hold on, no. They tax it on the marketplace again. So 2,500 times 0.7 because they take a 30% tax on all transactions, and then I get 0.0035 of 1,750. So I get $6.
Jeez, $6.
Yeah. So it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? You know, like I've been playing this fucking game for a long time, and we used to just do it for free. They didn't even used to pay us. But it's exploitative, and you know, I'm a capitalist, so I'm not gonna like bitch about a corporation making money, but I'm also just gonna take my business elsewhere. Like, I'm not gonna keep pouring shit in here. Which, you know, sucks for people who don't have... It sucks for people who don't have higher NPCs to run a Steam game, or, you know, people don't have $60 to buy a Steam game. So we're working on solutions for that stuff, but The biggest solution right now is keeping the game run by volunteers and having it keep slowly improve. Maybe one day Roblox will change or things like that. But the dream I have of this game it wasn't going to be possible on this platform. And there's just like Unreal Engine is just so much fucking better in so many ways. That I was like, it's just time. Like we've given this a really good run. And it's not like I was like eager to go redo everything I'd spent the last 10 years doing. You know what I mean? It's not like that's like oh, yippee. Like, let's go fucking redo everything. But at the end of the day, it's an easier decision, even having a Kickstarter. Like, we tried a GoFundMe for, you guys might remember, we tried a GoFundMe for Lionhearts on Roblox, and it got like $1,000 back in the day. Roblox players just don't spend money. They just don't. And
it's also, you said it yourself. This is like a niche of a niche.
Yeah.
This isn't an MMO. This isn't a fashion game. It's some kind of abomination, bastard child of both.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like the audience that want to play a game like this. Most people don't know this game exists. A game like this exists.
Right.
I mean.
And if they did, they wouldn't play it because it says Roblox on it.
Well, no, I feel like there's some people who are like, ew, Roblox, but a lot of people I think don't really care. And it's Roblox, it's a game platform. That's how I view it. I don't.
I just heard a lot of people that, like, with our audience specifically, and I know about these people, like, they like, you tell them about the game concept, like, oh, this is super cool, like, I'm so excited, and then you tell them it's on Roblox, and they're like, I'm out. I mean, it's not everybody, and like, you're not an example of that, but again, this comes into the survivorship bias thing. Mechanics are king, as like Pixel said in his video that he made for us. Like, but at the same time, Roblox does have a fucking serious stigma, and it's getting worse. By the way, it's not getting better. So it's not actually easy to get over that. And so we have to work twice as hard. But again, I don't regret it. It was better because we essentially got a chance to try out. We didn't know what we were doing at first because I literally got into game development to make this game and then learned everything about it, like on the fly. But essentially, we got to try out a lot of our ideas, and a lot of them were really bad. And we learned that. And the best, like, theories are just theories. But, getting actually to have a chance to put them into practice and have them not work is the best education you can possibly have. Because it refines your senses as a designer. And you can basically learn, all right, well, that was fucking dumb. Like, let's not do these 24-hour road battles anymore. And let's not add fucking bandit clans just for the fuck of it because it sounds cool when it totally takes away from the faction experience, which is supposed to be the point of the game, is supposed to be about factions. But now you're introducing a completely competitive system that takes away what the core game is. And we did that like 10 times. We kept thinking like, oh, let's add more features to the game. The game needs more features. Like, if only there was a matchmaking feature, if only there was this feature, then the game would be good. And it's like, that's just not how games work. And we did that over and over and over again. And so we ended up with a game that's like super, super feature heavy, which is actually what that Vice article says, which was very flattering to us and very nice if you haven't read it. It made me actually fucking tear up because I didn't know that anybody outside this platform would ever actually appreciate or recognize what we did here. But the article was really nice, and what they said is like one of the most feature-heavy games anywhere, not just on Roblox. And and it's like that's not a good thing if there's also not any content. So the game like seems impressive, but unless you get into the super hardcore faction element and community element, it's not very engaging to just keep going in a casual sense. And Roblox is all about casual gameplay. It's like, I want to get into, if you want to make a successful Roblox game, you better make sure the player can get into it and understand what they're doing within 30 seconds and having a good time. And that's like fucking really hard. When somebody spends $60 on a Steam game, they're not leaving the game in 10 seconds as soon as they get bored. They're going to put a little bit more investment into it.
Yeah. I think for like onboarding players who spawn in, I feel like spawning in as a pilgrim in Jerusalem, it's literally like waking up on the cart in Skyrim. Like you're just like, where am I? What's going on? I
Yeah,
don't know anything.
yeah.
And then you just get some random dude with a feather on his head saying, "Join me."
Right,
You're like, who are you? What's going on? I don't know how to move.
People say just remove the Malta onboarding, but statistically, the Malta onboarding is by far the most successful onboarding at retaining players that we've had. The problem is that it retains players to a game that's not there. It teaches the players that this is a questing game, and then the quests run out, and they're like, well, what the fuck do I do now? And then some guy from Cyprus is like, hey, join my faction. He's like, what the fuck is that? And, oh, this is like a fucking competitive PvP game, and I'm getting my ass kicked? This sucks. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I've had to explain to people, like, I brought 3 pilgrims I recruited at the same time to a region battle, because they're like, we want to fight. I'm like, okay, you're gonna fight really hard guys, because you just started. And they're like, all right. 3 of them tried to gang up on one guard, and the guard killed them all.
That's really funny. Yeah.
But
it's also sad.
I think it is kind of sad, but they were fine with it. They were chill. They kept calling me sir. It's kind of cool because the guards said like "Hello, Lord," so they're all being like.
Oh, I love that. I love that we added that. I think Leozen came up with that idea actually.
Mm-hmm.
To add like little greetings.
Yeah, it's a cool little thing. They saw it and they were impressed.
Well, the game would work as a roleplay game if there were more mechanics like that, but they're not, and a bunch of the players are like, roleplay's cringe. And there's just not enough incentives in the game.
I think soft roleplay is fine. Like calling somebody sir, like yes sir, or saying like, doing a battle cry or something in chat. That's fine. That's cool. I mean,
yeah,
if you're like
Templars still have inspections from time to time. The only issue is that some dudes take the roleplay even to the diplomacy, and it's like, dude, just say what you want.
Yeah, but what you don't get is that those roleplay elements, even if they seem cringy at first, like allow for a much more engaging experience for a lot of players, because you're basically creating your own gameplay when you roleplay, and like the game doesn't have enough content, so if the players produce their own content through roleplay, the game would actually be a lot better theoretically. But people don't want to roleplay because the game just has that stigma. And then people who've tried roleplaying, like that Dylan guy, just get like fucking bullied, and so it's just an issue.
But I was trying to lead into like, how if you play some games on Roblox, what they do, like a tycoon, you spawn in a tycoon, and then they do like a little slideshow, like tour of where you spawn in, showing you like this is the upgrade machine. Here's you get this, and you do that. I feel like if we could do a short little one for people in Jerusalem, kind of like a mix of like teaching them the essentials they would learn from Malta in a more, like you said, casual, like here's a little slideshow, here's the arena, fight people here, this is your storage, this is, show them the bandits outside, show them all the little things there.
It'd probably work better,
what factions are. I feel like a little slideshow like that would help. Yeah,
I agree. I don't think it would totally fix everything, obviously.
It won't hurt it.
No, and we're actually planning on redoing the onboarding as well. I mean, this thing... I mean, we have a plan right now.
You end up doing everything I suggest. You always end up doing it. It's prophecy.
True. I've never not done something you've suggested.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I said, hey, what if you sold the uniforms? People would probably buy those. And people bought them. I bought them. I know a bunch of other people bought them.
Well, that was actually a good idea.
Yes, I have good ideas from time to time.
Yeah, you do. This fucking Godson guy, on the other hand. Jeez.
Him and his silly European accent. Get out of here.
Yeah. Comes in here with his outrageous French accent.
Baguette, surrender. Go out. Get out.
Just kidding. That's Talleyrand with the French accent. He's so triggered he can't even respond.
French.
Godson.
Yo, what's up?
Don't be mad.
Oh no, I just stopped listening for a second.
Nah,
Okay.
rage.
No, don't worry. Nothing was said.
He's enraged.
No, I just heard back in with the French accent and I was like, the fuck?
He's enraged.
I mean, he does sound you sound loosely like if I was stupid, I'd think you were French.
Right, so I think he's French.
So you think I'm French, Lettuce?
No, I am smart, buff Cyprus man. No.
No, you're not Buff Cypriot Man, that was someone else.
You're buff
Or
Sicilian man?
Wait, no, it was Buff Sicilian Man, never mind. Got the two
No,
confused.
I have become buff Pathosian man specifically.
Interesting.
Here, Myth, look at this. Look at this poster and tell me you don't want to become a buff Pathosian man.
I need buff men.
Yes, I need buff men.
So true.
It's just me sitting there. And look at the drip, dude. I could turn Jerusalem into a water park with that drip.
Oh, that's like the old fucking uniform helmet.
No, that's well, not the helmet.
The helmet's super outdated.
No, we've had these helmets. Well, not really.
Oh man,
outdated.
you guys
These
need
have
an
always been on
upgrade. Those
helmets.
look like fucking 2010 helmets.
I mean, I know we did implement like.
Sorry, I'm not trying to roast you. I'm trying to be on your team here.
Well, no, it is drippy, but I do think I don't know how you could really remake the Spangen helm to make it look better. I think because my worry is like it's good where it is right now, and my worry is if it gets redone, it'll end up looking goofy.
Right.
But yeah, I've seen the work that's been done on Paphos. Paphos is absolutely breathtaking.
Good. Yeah, I saw a
Oh, no,
preview
the-
of it.
the-
It looked pretty nice.
The Lionheart server has lost their level 3 boost status.
No. Godson, how could you let this happen?
Bro, I'm free to play on everything. Even Discord.
You blame free to play on it?
Yeah?
So true. It is your fault, though.
Godson,
Yeah, I know,
sell your
right? I
kidneys-
drained all of the boosts.
Yeah, sell your kidneys to buy Discord.
I mean, this game basically revolves on balancing. And you've been the lead balancer for how long?
Not a long time. Pretty much only when we switched to the Discord.
Basically
Back
10
from Gilded.
years. Basically like 10 straight years. So, basically means everything that's wrong with this game is probably your fault. That's at least
Yeah,
that's at least
exactly.
my math, I think.
Also, I'm curious to hear what you think about this myth. So, you know, when in like region battles or sieges, sometimes the server location is cuckoo bananas, so everyone has crazy ping and parrying is impossible. Or not
Yes.
impossible, but much harder. Do you think there's any way to try to fix that or at least mitigate it a little bit, or is it just gonna have to be people have to learn to play with the lag and the
I
unpredictable?
mean,
parries?
I hate like using this excuse all the time, but it's probably just a Roblox issue. And
Yeah.
it's not really going to be easily fixed.
Yeah, I mean the meta from that happening is basically now heavy weapon, big damage win. Because if parries are unreliable, you just swing with a battle axe until, you know, you're most likely. Because I've seen HRE right now, they have almost exclusively battle axes and halberds, and they destroy. Because a lot of them are boots or cast. And because you can't really guarantee, like even if you see the
yeah, it's a
attack coming,
smarter meta
you're trying to
play in
parry
big
it.
battles because it requires less skill and it's less.
I mean, It's not just that. It's a multitude of factors that makes Halberd, Battle Axe, and Warhammer be the current strongest weapons. Although we do hope that the skill tree update coming to, for me it's tomorrow. For some people it's gonna be in 2 days.
Wait, yeah,
ready
when?
for the shield
Thank you for
build,
joining. When
guys.
is that happening? Because
On the 11th. I
100%.
don't know exact hours. Yeah. 100% on the 11th.
Dude,
So
back
there's
to
the
that
answer.
W's. On the 10th, which is in, about 5 hours, Battlefield 6 drops, and I'm going to be playing the hell out of that. And then tomorrow, I get my shield skill tree. As a proud shield user, I am in heaven.
So we got a couple chat comments I want to read from Jim. Roblox payments dodging isn't viable. Willing to drop €25 on a family outside of the game if that means you guys can buy extra coffee. It's technically against terms of service. So
yeah, I was gonna say that Roblox, if they found out about that, they could just shut the whole.
I don't really give a shit, but it's not really viable. But there are things you can do, like donate to the Kickstarter, which is still up. Back the Kickstarter, actually. You get awesome rewards. You can donate to us on stream. You can donate to us on Patreon. You can DM me if you're interested in something larger we can work out that I can't specify on stream. But if you DM me and you want to discuss something like that, we can. It's just not strictly allowed. The beauty of this game was always faction, player-driven culture. Added features never matched up to that. Yep. Absolutely some diplomacy reworks that could make faction gameplay loop even more engaging. I agree. I mean, you could tweak it and make it better, for sure.
I mean, you can always tweak it. You can tweak anything and make it better.
Except for the United States healthcare system, because it's perfect.
God bless America.
Actually, you'll know what we should bring back? The 2021 era Singapore servers.
I still wait, Myth. Do you remember when we had the Lionheart's Arena where people had to earn those points to become a pilgrim and go to Jerusalem?
Yeah, of course.
With the free UGCs, and we got like 1,000 people. You pulled up the Templar Teddy, like, oh, I'm gonna speak Italian and Spanish. They got the free UGCs, and then they all left.
Yeah, I know. It's because they're fucking Roblox players and they don't give a shit about medieval games.
Yeah, free UGC stuff is like that.
I mean, that's a good learning of, hey, don't ever invest in free UGCs. It's a very temporary boom.
I mean, it probably was worth the investment based on how many hats we've sold from the limiteds. We get cuts when those limited sell, so kind of was nice.
Yeah.
But
are you able to say if you broke even on that or made money from that?
I don't know, honestly. Probably not yet, but we probably will within the next year or two.
Yeah, so I mean, it is kind of like an investment, but
me personally, I fell with Steam Lionhearts coming out. The volunteer, I fell. The volunteer works for the Roblox, not just going to stop. Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think the people on the Roblox game want to keep improving it, and the Steam game is going to be substantially different. It's not just a port, it's a totally new game.
yeah.
So, like, there's going to be a significant amount of people who just want to keep playing the Roblox game because it's a different experience, you know? It's not like... And that's why I'm happy to make bases like this, because I know they're still going to be used, and I have a lot of, like, joy out of making this stuff, and so... Great. Like, no problem.
I mean, yeah. This castle is, I mean, it is like the castle.
It is a castle of all time.
It is. It's great. I mean, it's... The bases, I feel like you really can feel the... For most of them, at least. For some of them, not really. But for most, you can really feel the passion put into them. And the care.
Thank you.
And the bit of, like, story in them. And then there's some, like, I still remember old Palmyra. It was just hill in the middle of desert. 2 walls, that's it.
Nah, Lettuce, you don't trash talk old Palmyra. As bad as that base was in terms of design, it was literally just a sandcastle in a corner. It was such a fun siege to fight in.
Yeah, I'll take the blame for old Palmyra. That was me. But you just didn't understand the vision, Lettuce.
The vision.
Like back in that era, back in 2021, Templars were neighbors of Seljuks, and every time we wanted to work AOJ, we had to go through Palmyra. So we ended up fighting there a lot, and the sieges are so close and so fun with equal numbers. It was very much a close second to Karak sieges.
Yeah, Carrick sieges are pretty good, eh? I mean, I've been sieging that base. For like 10 years. That's an old base. So that's actually one I have experience sieging because it's that fucking old.
I'm really curious with, I mean, Nicosia sieges. They've been very fun. Because I really like the gameplay of a Nicosia siege, where you just keep falling back and holding the gates.
Yeah, Nicosia's a really fun map design.
Because it was made for assassins, so
That's
has
right.
all the vibes.
That's why it's good.
I'm curious how the Paphos siege is gonna go on then, because I mean, because Paphos is kind of like Acre, so I imagine the Paphos siege would probably be something like that. It's just like a big open base.
Yeah, we in game design, by that I mean specifically me and Spaghetti have already taken a quick look at Pathos. We haven't done full meeting or anything, but from what we've seen, we're gonna take a bit of both inspiration on Acre and Nicosia for the Pathos siege.
Nice.
Thessaloniki is. I'm reading a comment. Yeah, Thessaloniki is a really good base. It's just, not. It's just Thessa is like forgotten about.
Do you mean Winterfell?
No.
Don't tell that to Byzantines. We almost had a war break out in game design because of I mean, I can say this. So you know how Cyprus is moving to, well, Cyprus, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Pretty much we had to decide how to split back up the garrisons that Cyprus would leave behind.
Naturally.
And Thessaloniki was a heavy point of contention in the meeting.
I'm sure.
I mean, it is just Byzantine's base, so I don't know if it would have to be moved or what, but...
Isn't it technically a Cypriot core?
Technically, it's ours,
currently, it's a Cypriot core, yes, and that's why it's trouble, because as much as we wanted to give it to Byzantines, Hosps are in the way, are literally in the middle of Thessa and Biz.
Yeah.
I think you would just have to turn some Byzantine garrison into a stronghold and move it up there.
Yeah, that's the idea we had as well.
Because there's no way that's going to be a Hospitaller base. It's a city in Anatolia. It's like deep in Anatolia too.
I mean, it depends if we get the builders freed up by the time to make the new garrison and move the entrance of the base and everything up there.
Yeah, I mean, I balance the current
yeah,
base and garrison layout, so definitely let me know if you want my input. Because I don't know, we had to make a lot of sacrifices to geography for game balance and vice versa. So it's always just kind of a tough dynamic.
I mean, yeah, Cyprus in the Crusades, Cyprus didn't leave the island. We were just on the island doing our own thing.
I mean, you were a fucking vassal like the whole time almost after Richard showed up, right?
After Richard came and did his side quest of conquering us. Yeah. But I mean, before then, all we did was like we made a deal with Salahuddin about like trade, like, hey, we won't supply the Crusaders for if you do I think he gave us I think some amount of protection for not supplying the Crusaders, and that was about it. We didn't fight in the Levant. We were just busy, you know, the act of God that the Byzantine fleet coming to reconquer the island got killed in a storm. It was just I think God was just like, you know what, let them cook. Let's do what they do. So they stopped their destruction right there for a little bit longer. But then we
Is
were
what
stupid,
Russian?
Like, hey, you know what?
Responding to the chat.
Yeah, I don't know.
What
I don't,
that
there's
question?
no, I don't know what any. Or I think they're talking about Thessaloniki.
Probably not. I don't think that. I
Uh,
don't think she's.
It's the only thing I
player.
can
They
think
were,
of.
now they're talking about a bit of ideas they have for rooms in this base.
Yeah.
In this base.
Yeah.
Well,
Although that
there's
does
actually
remind me that
there's a whole layout, historical layout. So, like example, this is a this is going to be access to the whatever the fuck it's called, the well, not the cistern. And then there's an armory. And there's a couple other things. So a lot of these are already filled, but some of these side rooms and stuff, I'm gonna have to.
God, camping those doorways with battle axes is gonna be so fun.
You're gonna be the one
Just sit
attacking.
there.
And you're not gonna be able to camp.
We're not fighting the fucking Teutons. We're gonna be just killing England. That's all we're gonna be doing for a long time. Because I mean, once the island, because like Cyprus is the just the right side. Because Sicily, I think if they should be able to, say, you know what, we want to own all of Sicily, but because there's so many factions involved on that island, they can't. But Cyprus is just us in England. So we have that opportunity to actually be like, no, yeah, this is all ours. You're going to leave. And
I mean, yeah, but counterpoint lettuce, spaghetti is in England.
it's spaghetti. Moving on. Anyway.
Yeah, you haven't seen his diplomacy, my guy. Good luck, is all I'll say.
I'll just make spaghetti have an aneurysm.
Spaghetti's that like chaotic neutral force. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Matt, the current emperor of Cyprus, is probably one of the most emperor people. Like he's like, what? You don't want to do what I want?
You're not emperor.
No, I haven't been emperor for like a year.
Lettuce. How could you let your throne be vacant?
Because I was being harmful to my empire, so I did what I had to save it, which was step down.
So honorable. I think you're supposed
Now
to.
I'm-
Never mind.
No, what?
No,
What was I supposed
I
to
fucking guess. Yeah. I can't believe I almost said that anyway. My brain.
Message it to me.
My brain is in the. No, I can't do that either.
What do you mean?
I could probably
What was
say it
this
to you over a private call, but I still probably won't.
It's crazy.
It
Well,
is
now
literally.
people will only be able to okay, I don't know if that's what he was thinking.
I mean, that's what it sounded like.
You DM'd him?
Yeah, I DM'd him.
All right, well, DM it to
Well,
me
I
and I'll
mean-
think it
confirm.
sounded like-
Well, I mean, the true ending of Azakios Komnenos was Richard just slapped some silver chains on him and he rotted in a prison and died.
The reference was I was trying to make a Roman reference, Godson. Then I realized
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be taken
what,
that
I was
way.
supposed to get Julius Caesared?
No. Oh, not quite that easy.
Although, Myth, I did see a funny question in chat.
Yeah.
Or a thing in chat that reminded me of something. Apart from Sayun being Rivendell, are there any other bases that were originally fantasy inspired?
Yes. Thessaloniki was originally Winterfell.
Okay, so it actually was.
Yeah. And so the keep of Syracusa was actually made as the Shadow Tower for a Game of Thrones group I made. And it was recolored and repurposed. The rest of Syracusa was actually you guys probably don't remember old Syracusa. God, that, speaking of bad, that was not great.
Was Nicosia inspired by something else, or was that like just completely?
Nicosia was based on an old ACA map called Il Fiume, which meant the river, and that map was very popular, and so I wanted to basically recreate the magic of that map. So I named it Il Mare, and it just was meant to be like the ocean version. But no, that was straight from the dome. I don't remember any specific inspiration for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, Alamut was originally meant to be the Eyrie for Game of Thrones. So there's one.
Just looking in chat, and Talleyrand is just fucking gambling.
Yeah. Studio did
Where's
used to
Helm's
sell
Deep?
NPCs. Where's Helm's Deep? True. That would have been a good one, but not added, unfortunately. Yeah, so essentially when I made TTC, we were in a rush to get bases because there were more factions than bases, so instead of wasting a lot of the builds I had made over the years, I felt a lot better about repurposing them, because when you spend like 3 months making something, you're not like eager to just like have it just never be used.
Yeah.
So people sometimes think it was like me being lazy, but it's like, well, your faction just wouldn't have had a base. So that's like, so, you know, Sayun was a pretty egregious one. I'll give you that. But it was recolored recently.
Also, with the, because I know in Alamut, there is the actual, like, Assassin's Creed, like the Ubisoft title, their logo there, like the Assassin's Creed thing.
Yeah.
Couldn't they technically throw a fit over you using that?
I guess. I mean, I don't think they give a shit. I mean, we're not, I mean, we don't actually have, I think everything's basically fair use besides maybe that logo. And that's something that we could get rid of pretty easily if we wanted to.
As imagine some assassin gets mad, he sends an email to Ubisoft like, "Hey, you gotta invest."
I mean, I'd be totally fine with getting rid of it. I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
And honestly, here's my little fucking rant. The current, and this is coming from a guy who was the mentor of that faction for like 10 straight years. Not even an exaggeration. I was mentor for 9 years and 9 months. And that faction is like so autistically addicted to the Assassin's Creed franchise. Whenever you try to do anything that would, you know, separate them from the beloved Assassin's Creed IP, they like throw a fucking fit. So when I'm like, oh, you know, it'll be based on the historical assassins in Reforged, they're like, and they like fucking spaz out. And I get it, like I get the hood thing, because like the hoods were genuinely worse, but man, they just like, it's just sad because the group is like, so like, the reason that they think that is because for a very short time in that group's history, it was somewhat inspired by Assassin's Creed, actually. Now, before you call cap on that, I'll just remind you that in the early days of that group, we were literally using fucking spaceships. And and we didn't have hidden blades. It was literally like spaceships, Link swords, and M4 rifles. So, like, and we had uniforms that literally looked nothing like Assassin's Creed. Yes, the name of the group was Assassin's Creed, but for most of the game group's history, it literally was pretty irrelevant, other than the fact, like, we would use some of the lore, like, oh, I'm an assassin. Lachey walking on Moon Kim. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. But, like, it would be way better if the current assassin faction, instead of fucking being cringy, actually tried to inspire themselves based on the actual assassins of history, who so many people still think, like, they think Ubisoft invented assassins. But no, I mean, there's literally the assassin, which anybody, you know, that looked into it for more than 3 seconds knows. And games like Stronghold Crusader even have them in the game. So it's not like they even have a foothold over the concept in like from like an intellectual property standpoint. They can't do anything because they're a historical group. And so as long as we, you know, do our due diligence, it's fine. Now, many of our bases were inspired by Assassin's Creed maps, but they can't fucking do anything about that. You can't sue somebody over something being inspired. So to finish my rant, if the assassin group would be Chads, like I wish they would be, like they were back when I was the leader, cough, they would stop fucking fanboying over this stupid franchise that stopped being good like fucking 30 years ago.
I stopped playing after Black Flag.
Yeah, it's awful now. And it's gone, it's like, it's just a bad franchise now. Like, and it's just milking it doesn't even have anything to do with the original games. If they would just get over that fucking shit and try to actually man up, Mithandir man up style, express masculine expressions of love and joy, then they'd probably be doing better right now, because they literally they rely on just milking the AC franchise, and the faction hasn't even been fucking good in, like, they're gonna get so pissed at me for this, that's okay. The faction hasn't even been fucking it's like the easiest faction ever to get fucking active, because you have like 30 Ezio, Connor, Altair fanboys joining a day, and like they barely rally like 8 people, and we were rallying like, it's partially my fault, we were rallying like 30 to 50 before I stepped down, basically. Not before I stepped down, before we made TTC. And basically what we had to do when we made TTC is I had to donate like all my high ranks and high command to become faction leaders, because we didn't have quality faction leaders. So I intentionally basically sabotaged ACEA to try to make TTC work. And we lost, like, we had all the best early TTC leaders were my high ranks. Prince Jamie L, Prince Falix, Andrew, all these people. Well, Andrew wasn't that good of a leader, but he was too fucking inactive. But I would just send them off. And it really hurt the faction. But like, it's been 5 fucking years and they haven't even recovered. And they kind of just rely on their geography and alliances to keep from being conquered, because nobody gives a shit. They're in like the least accessible part of the map, like the far right corner. It's super far from Jerusalem. Nobody really wants their bases. I mean, their bases look good, but like with the amount of shit.
Assassin stuff.
Say what?
I mean,
they're coded in assassin stuff, so it's like, you know, you're gonna own a base, but all their statues and all their plaques and all their stuff is still there.
Right. I mean, they just need to fucking.
I mean, it's not that
need to get good.
No one wants their bases. Templars, we've done, I think, 2 or 3 tiny wars where the whole goal was just, let's go after assassins again for old time's sake.
Right. But like,
it's just the distance makes it absolutely painful.
Yeah, that's another issue. Is like the Templar rivalry should be like fueling a lot of shit, but it's inaccessible, as you said. So it's like,
yeah, because if Templars wanted to get there, let's see, the closest thing, like let's say they wanted to use a seaport, they'd have to get Byzantine permission to just go through their lands.
Can I do a hot take?
Sure.
It's gonna get me in trouble. Northern Levant is by far the biggest pussy region. Like, it's such a pussy.
Oh,
Like,
so true.
nobody fucking
Yeah.
fights. They're all in just their stupid mega fucking alliance where nobody does fucking anything. Why are you even playing this game, dude? Like, get a fucking life. Like, you shouldn't be playing this game if your point is just to fucking sit and camp in Northern Levant the whole fucking time. You don't do anything. And like they're all just like the Seljuks like get active like once every 9 months and like do something and then it just dies again. And they're like, oh, we're a superpower. Our capitals never get conquered. It's like nobody fucking cares. You're not fighting each other. It's like if everybody in SL made a super alliance and nothing happened, imagine how boring this fucking game would be. Sicily has the same fucking issue, by the way. It's just not as bad.
Although the thing you're forgetting, Myth, or I don't even know if you know, SL has made a super alliance before. Like the entirety of SL, except for Abyss,
wasn't that just
was
the
in
Feds?
the same mega alliance. Yeah, the Feds.
Yeah.
And we constantly went to war with other regions. So unlike Northern Levant, where even without officially being in a mega alliance, they never war each other, SL is just full of warmongers.
Yeah. So I mean, my
But that's good for the game. So great.
I was gonna say something about the because we were talking about the assassins, and it reminded me of this video I saw about a documentary about when the Mongols attacked the Order of the Assassins, and you know they did.
Yeah,
they
fucked them up.
Oh yeah, they fucked them up.
Well, they fucked
But
everybody up, but yeah.
Yeah, they did fuck everyone up.
What do you
but I
mean
still remember
Ice
the
Age
assassins
take?
were,
What
like-
does that mean, Ice Age take? I only fucking log in once every fucking 2 years, so you got to give me some grace.
But yeah, I mean the assassins there, like they fought to the bitter end. They were
That-
they were pushing through their hallways, and they were like, no, fuck it, I'm just gonna hide behind this door with a dagger. I'll kill another one. I
That
don't care."
rant has to be fucking clipped, dude. That rant has to be clipped and sent to the assassins.
Yeah, you gotta motivate them.
Well, dude, the reason they're fucking inactive is because they don't have any enemies.
That and also it's just like the
They're too
assassins, I
fucking
remember
scared to
while
fight in a
ago-
war. It's embarrassing. I'm like embarrassed
while
that
ago
was
they
my fucking
had-
faction.
They had like a huge surge of new players. Like I remember Assassins, they had like probably like 20 new players join them, and then like 2 weeks later they were all gone. Like none of them stayed. But like they got them to battles, they equipped them, like they had their stuff, and then they just despawned.
Because I don't think that...
Also, Myth, don't even remind me of Assassin's chickening out of wars. Like, I don't know if you're up to date on the most recent one.
Oh, please enlighten me.
Alright, so pretty much, this is my point of view. I am not saying anything factual, because I know some people will call me a liar, but what happened was that Ayyubids and Ejari are in an alliance. They made a not official but very close to official mega alliance with the Muslim factions.
Yeah.
Like the Muslim Federation is back again. And pretty much the rest, they did a lot of dirty moves, threatening other factions. They pissed them off in every diplomatic chat, and they ended up getting ganked by 9 factions at the same time.
Well, good for
The
them.
issue is,
At least they're not cowards.
after Templars got vassalized, they lost a single region battle. And goddamn assassins and Byzants instantly peaced out.
Yeah, because they don't want to fucking fight. I mean, the Byzantines at least have been, like,
Yeah.
kind of active, and they fight in the Central Levant for France. But France is also fucking super dead right now. France is another fucking issue. That faction cannot do anything when Leo isn't, like, fucking... Like, who do they have? They have Keani right now? Like, their faction's supposed to be running based on Keani. I like Keani. He's a good guy, but, like, that's it. I don't even know another Frenchman that's active.
I think it's still Janiel that's leading it, but active Frenchman, yeah, it's just Kayani.
Like, they have one
I
guy.
mean, Cyprus right now has pretty good, like, we've got pretty good material to have a pretty banging faction. Like I know my division is, we just need people, but the division like foundation is solid. We have our holy order, they're pretty solid. We just need like one more good div leader, and then Cyprus's like high common leadership is pretty golden. I mean, Matt's a great emperor. He's chill. He's pretty good.
I feel like I fucked up and these windows are way too low.
I mean, one faction that absolutely surprised me with this war was Antioch. Like, I've still had the idea from Heroes era of, the elves, haha, funny, their base is literally Rivendell, and they have nothing else going for them. But I mean, their behavior in this war, like, even with fewer numbers, they've been showing up every single time and not showing any sense of stopping.
These windows are too fucking low.
Are they?
Now I'm pissed.
Oh, come on, you gotta leave them somewhat low. How else are we supposed to
Yeah, they can't be
defenestrate
used,
people?
but they look bad aesthetically. They're more functional, but they look bad. Now I'm pissed.
I don't think they look bad aesthetically.
Look at this. Okay, look when they're in the bottom. Look right here. Look at that. That's derpy.
Oh,
Look at these two.
stream is-
Look at these. Tell me that doesn't look derpy. It looks okay when there's not a...
outside, they look fine. Is the problem inside? Is that what you mean?
No, they look fine on the inside. This looks good. I don't care about this. This looks good. On the outside, these two look derpy, just positionally to this tower. When there's only one window, it's fine. This tower looks fine. This one looks fine, but the tower's too tall. The window looks better. Watch, when the window's up here...
Yeah, okay, I can agree that Okay, I thought you were talking about the bottom floor windows. Yeah, the top floor windows do look too low compared to the tower and the other
But
window.
when there's no bottom windows, it looks fine. But if I don't include bottom windows, these fucking rooms will just be empty and boring.
Yeah.
These are the sacrifices you have to make. This is hard stuff.
I mean, I think what you could probably do for the top windows is I think you just gotta bite the bullet of having them not be like able to be they're not. You can't walk up to them. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
the
Like, how you get
that's the
ground level.
sacrifice is they won't be usable.
I think that's fine. It's not like anyone's gonna be actually shooting out of them. They're mainly just aesthetics.
What does Chopper
'Cause, I mean, if you
think?
try to shoot out those windows, you're just gonna end up hitting the wall. The bolts or arrows will just stick in the wall, not outside of it.
My SBA take is SBA basically does the bare minimum to not die, and they've been pretty unimpressive since France got inactive because they don't have a fucking bully to deal with.
I really liked the Tarask era of Teutons and SBA. That was really good.
I'm hoping this base revives the glory days of Teutonics.
I do think Jim saying that SBA are too lazy to recruit. I feel like, yeah, I don't think I've never seen SBA go up to pilgrims and try to recruit them. It's always like Seljuks trying to recruit pilgrims. HRE does it a bit. I know Cyprus does. We pounce on the pilgrims like a fucking lioness on a gazelle.
Chopper
I
says
know,
it's
yeah.
fine, and he doesn't think I should waste 30 minutes moving the room up. All right, fine. All right, actually, I gotta go make dinner, and it's already been 2 hours. Good chat though. I hope that this gets fucking clipped and people share some of the discussion. I feel like we had a really good discussion.
Yeah. Who should I talk to about my trying to refine the idea about the Chronicle shit? Like which dev?
What?
Who's in charge of that kind of stuff? We were talking about the Chronicle ownership stuff earlier.
Oh,
Who would that fall under?
probably
Who's in
Cyber.
Game design.
Cyber.
Wait, for what exactly?
For talking about Chronicle ownership of like if you own a garrison for X amount of time, it shifts to your Chronicle and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would probably be game design then, I think.
Okay. because I have some other ideas with it. Like if you, like I think to have some more balance to the people, and benefit the smaller factions. Like let's say if you lose a garrison, like it flips to Byzantines take Antioch land and it gets chronicled to Byzantines. The Antiochans have like a short window, like maybe a week or two, where if they take it back and hold it for a lesser amount of time, then boom, it'll flip back to theirs. Like it's like a defender bias system where the attackers have to hold it and really maintain it to hold on to that chronicle flip.
All right,
Yeah,
boys.
and,
I gotta fucking go.
Yes,
Go
yeah.
eat your dinner, Mithandir.
Good chat.
I
though.
mean, there's also the.
Oh, I gotta do
thing
the
about-
giveaway. It's
Oh, yeah.
literally one intro. and-
There's a. Really?
yeah, because I think it closed before people joined. So
Ruined, it's me!
nice.
Let's go.
Congrats, Jose.
Oh my god.
So are you from fucking Spain?
No, right next to them, Portugal.
Oh,
Okay, so Diet Spain.
Spain light.
Yeah, Spain.
Lettuce.
Spain.
I will get Tilla to interrupt the war against HRE and go over to Cyprus.
Spain DLC.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for coming, guys.
Also, who do I DM for the giveaway again?
Roblex.
Alright.
See you guys. Thanks for
Expect a
coming.
reply in 4 years.